Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got a really sweet treat for you. We are going to make a cinnamon crumb cake. I love cinnamon. It's one of my favorite spices. I love the taste of it. I love the way it makes the house smell. I just love it. And so there is a crumb cake that I really like, and so I'm going to show you how to make it today. It's incredibly moist because it's made with sour cream. Very good cake. So, you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay guys, so let's start with the ingredients of the cinnamon crumb portion of the cake. Right here I have about 1.5 cups of flour. I've got a cup of melted butter here in front. Right here I have 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And then I have 2 tablespoons of cinnamon right here. And then down here in front, I have about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Alrighty guys, now right here we have all of the ingredients for the cake portion of our cinnamon crumb cake. So right here in back, I've got 3 cups of flour. I have about 2 cups of sour cream here. I have a cup of white sugar here. I have 4 eggs here. I have a cup of butter here, melted. And then down here, I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder here, a teaspoon of baking soda here, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt right here in the corner. Alrighty, so we've got our oven set at 350. It's all preheated and ready to go. And right here I have my springform pan that I just really lightly sprayed with cooking spray. Springform pan. Pop this off and the side comes off, the bottom stays there. That's why they call it a springform pan, and that's what you want to use for this cake. Alrighty guys, so the first thing we want to do is we want to mix up our ingredients for the cinnamon crumb portion of the cake. So I'm going to put my flour in here, my brown sugar, and the cinnamon, and a little bit of salt that we have here. And we're just going to kind of whisk this up a little bit to get it incorporated before we put our butter in here. And this is the actual cinnamon crumb part of the cake. This is my favorite part. It's so tasty and so wonderful. I love cinnamon. Okay, so now we're just going to put our butter in here. And we're just going to whisk this together, and it's going to look very I want to say crummy, but crumb-y is how it's going to look, which is what we want. We want to swirl this through the cake, and then we want it on top. So we'll just mix all this up, and you can see it's not really like a batter. So we'll make sure it's all in there, and then we'll be able to spoon this in and on the cake batter. Alright guys, so we have our cinnamon streusel crumb waiting for us over here in this bowl. So we're going to get our cake put together. So we're going to put our flour, we're going to sift together all of our dry ingredients. So what you want to do is, this is a flour sifter, and you just pour the flour in there. And you sift it through. This gets the lumps out of it. It kind of incorporates the baking powder and baking soda and everything in there as well. So we'll just sift all this in. And that's it. Alrighty, so then we're going to add our sugar. And we're going to go ahead and put this on the mixer. And we're going to get our butter in there and get it mixed in. Get it all nice and fluffy and creamy in there.
Remember guys, anytime you're mixing something with a mixer, you always want to let it mix for a couple seconds and then stop it and scrape down the sides of the bowl, because a lot of your batter and ingredients and things get stuck to the side of the bowl. And so you just want to kind of scrape that down to get everything back in there. And then we'll mix it just for a couple seconds, and then we're going to put our eggs and the other liquids in there. Okay, so the eggs we're going to drop in one at a time and let it mix in. Okay, so again, I just want to scrape down the sides real quick. Make sure everything is being mixed in together. Just like that. Alrighty, so this is ready for our lemon juice here and our vanilla extract here. We're going to give that a little mixy here, just for a couple seconds. And then the last ingredient is our sour cream. And this is what is going to make the cake really, really moist. Sour cream is wonderful in a cake. We're going to let this mix up. Then we're going to pour it into our pan and pop it in the oven. Remember, I'm going to scrape down the sides again. And again, all this does is just, it makes sure that all of your ingredients are being mixed in and you don't have any stuck to the side of the bowl or in the bottom of the bowl or anything like that. You want to kind of get the batter off the mixing paddle here too. Alrighty guys, so this has mixed. So we're going to assemble this in the pan. So what we're going to do here is, alrighty guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to layer our batter with our streusel, and we're going to layer those in here. And you'll see after it's baked, it is going to look beautiful. So we'll put a few spoons of our batter in here. And then we're gonna put some of our cinnamon streusel in here. This is actually easier if you do it with your hands. So we'll just kind of break that up and toss it in here. And you can swirl it around with a knife if you want to get it in there, but this is fine because it's in the clumps, it'll look just fine. So then we'll come back and we're gonna put a couple more spoons of batter in here. And then we're going to put some more of our cinnamon streusel here. Okay. So this is the last of the cake batter, and we'll just kind of spread it around here. And I want all of that loveliness here. And then we're going to put the last of the cinnamon streusel on top. And the top's going to have a little bit more than the middle does. We're just going to kind of break this up. Make sure you get it over along the sides too, because you want some cinnamon over there. And so there you have it. So we have our several layers of batter, several layers of cinnamon streusel. We're going to pop this in the oven and see how it turns out. Okay guys, so our cake is in the oven. It's supposed to be in there for 30 to 40 minutes. And so remember, when you're baking a cake or baking anything really, there's always going to be a range of time that it's going to be in the oven. For this one, it's 30 to 40 minutes. So what you want to do is put it in, set your timer for the lower time. So I've got my timer set on 30 minutes. And then I'm going to test it at 30 and see how it is. And then, you know, it may need 5 more minutes or it may need the full 40 minutes. I don't know. But you always want to test it at the lower number, because if you don't and you leave it in there for 40, it could burn. And after it burns, you can't undo the burn. If it's not done at 30, you can always add a few more minutes and get it done. Alrighty? See you back here in about a half hour. Alrighty guys, so we're at 30 minutes with our cake. So I can tell, even without putting the toothpick in, because it's bouncy right there like that, I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes and then check it again. Alrighty guys, so the cake is done. It is sitting here. A good key to getting a moist cake, and I get compliments on how moist my cakes are all the time, is as soon as it comes out of the oven, you want to cover it with aluminum foil, and that way all of that steam and all of that moisture stays in the cake. So I'm going to cover this up. There you go. Later on, when I take the aluminum foil off and it's cool, we'll slice into it and I'll show you how pretty this cake is. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So now comes the time for us to get our cinnamon crumb cake into a cake carrier. So it's been covered with the aluminum foil to keep the moisture in. All we have to do is pop the springform pan. It comes off like that, and then we're just going to slide this down onto our cake carrier like this. And then to keep it from drying out until we eat it, I'm going to put the cake carrier cover on it, and that'll keep it nice and moist for us. So there you have it, a wonderful, beautiful, smells heavenly cinnamon crumb cake. Alrighty guys, so we're going to cut into this, and we're just going to cut a small slice out of it. I want you to see the inside of that. Look at that, nice and moist. All of those little pockets of cinnamon that's in there. Just heaven, 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 heaven. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for watching our video. I really appreciate it. If you would subscribe to our channel, that would be wonderful. Also, like, comment, and share on our videos. We would really appreciate it. And we will see you next time right here on J&J Miller Real TV.